Hello and welcome to everyone joining us today. My name is Nick Atoni. I'm a member of the Michigan ASLA DEI Committee and president of the MSU LA Club. It's my pleasure to introduce Rayshaun Landrum. He is our guest speaker today for our Diverse Perspective webinar series. This webinar was put together by the Michigan ASLA DEI Committee, which encourages, promotes, and celebrates diversity, equity, and inclusion in our chapter and profession. Rayshaun is a landscape designer, project manager for the city of Detroit. He uses his passion for design to serve the urban community with a focus on city parks. Without further ado, I'll give the floor to Rayshaun.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining me. I'm going to share my screen with today's presentation, so give me a second here. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you all again. So today I will be presenting the City of Detroit, Dexter Elmhurst Park, Underserved Community. Again, my name is Rayshaun Landrum. I'm one of the landscape designers and project managers with the City of Detroit. I'll be working with city parks, more particular in District 5, but also in District 3. And I could tell you that my role will be particularly with the park for this this project, but then I will show an overview, I guess, project outline of the entire site. Because there's much more than just the park. We have the park, the rec center, and some vacant lots. So I'm kind of giving you an overview of the park. And then from there, I'll go into the recreation center plans, and then the park plans more in detail, and then a plaza concept for the project as well. So here we have the project location, which is in District 5, which is the Dexter Elmhurst project area. To kind of give back up a little bit, for this area, the city of Detroit did a couple of years ago a neighborhood framework plan. So this would kind of unfold into the improvements that you will see today. I know a couple of years ago, I did a project which was Zussman Park, which was also in that neighborhood framework plan, and that was in a historic district. So the Zussman Park is not too far from this project area. So again, it's within the same boundaries of the neighborhood plan. And the neighborhood plan kind of looks for opportunities for development and opportunities with vacant lots, buildings, kind of getting those vacant and lot activations in this community to, a community standard that everyone can enjoy. So now I'm going to get into the master plan overview. Like I said, I'm going to review kind of like the outline of this project area, not just the park in particular. So here we have the master plan outline, and the city of Detroit departments involved are the Detroit Public Works, Streetscape, General Service Department, which I am a part of, the Recreation Center, and then the GSD, the General Service Department Landscape Design Unit, which I'm actually a part of, that will be taking care of the park, the plaza, and the lot activations. So as you can see on the screen, we have a kind of a key map with these different labels. So A, we have DPW, which what they will be doing the streetscape, which will also be part of like this overview plan as well. B, we have the actual park. Right now it's just asphalt. There's some parking blocks and some deteriorated basketball realms there, but doesn't really serve a purpose to the actual community. And C, that is actually Tuxedo Street, which will be converted into a plaza. And then D, we have the actual recreation center, which is Dexter Elmhurst Community Center, which will be renovated. And then we have E, which is part of the recreation center, which will be parking to accommodate, visitors in the community as well. And then C, going back to C, we have some vacant lots, which we are trying to do some lot activations, meadows, habitat, putting some paths through and with some site amenities as well. What is also on this map, which isn't located, I think you can see my cursive. These are the shaded rectangles there. Those are actually residential homes at the moment. So we're kind of working with the owners, but also the Detroit Land Bank, who has ownership of some of these homes, to see if they're in compliance with people who have them as ownership, or if the property is actually going to be demoed. So some of these properties are currently on the demo list to be to be demoed. I know there is a house currently, as you can see my cursive labeled on E, that is actually demo for this year, and a couple as well on the opposite side. Just to kind of go through the DPW streetscape. This is right in front of our project area of the rec center and the park. And as you can see, there is a placeholder of the plaza. This was actually done by DPW and their consultant Smith Group. So that is just a placeholder to kind of give you an idea of what the space can actually look like. And as you can see a rendering of the streetscape and how that will unfold with everything. Here we have a timeline. So back last year in August, we had surveys to kind of get an idea and feedback from the community as we kind of unfold the planning for this project here. We closed the survey, got feedback from them, and we had our first community meeting as well, which we kind of got a brief description of the project as well to the community. And then we fast forward a couple months later where we get into design, where we had our second community meeting in December. Got a lot of feedback based off concepts and also presenting images to kind of get the community's feedback on what they would like to see in the park, but also the surrounding area. And of course, as well as the recreation center, you'll see the floor plans that the consultant had did as well. And then later this year, we had our third community meeting, which was our final community meeting, which we kind of took the concept plan and the revisions for a final plan, which I will show a little later. So our plan is to have construction this fall, is looking more so spring of next year, but we're definitely getting this project out to bid this year. And then this wouldn't be possible without the ARPA funds. So we received ARPA funds for this project for both the recreation center, but also the park and the plaza. So what we know, like I said, just kind of go back into community meeting number one, but also survey number one, which we asked what they would like to see as far as activities and spaces within the park, but also in the rec center. And then community number two, we shared that drafted plan and got feedback as well. And then our meeting that we just had this year, we shared the final plan with final feedback as well. So this is part of our park survey results from the feedback that we received. And as you can see, there was a strong want for traditional playground, exploration area, picnic tables, outdoor equipment, basketball court, outdoor challenge course, open lawn, which could be for events or just throwing a frisbee, and a dog park. So it's my job to kind of get this feedback and work with the budget to see what I can actually produce for them as far as like a great design and tackling these wants and needs. So here we have from the community number two, this is the park concept that they all chose. I provided three concepts in meeting number two. Of course, all three were different in the different variations. I believe one even showed a dog park, but for this particular winner of the concept, this doesn't show a dog park. But if you can follow my cursive here, I believe you can see it. So the rec center is on this side, and we have Tuxedo. And at that time, we didn't even know that that we're actually going to close down Tuxedo and make it a plaza. So of course, this doesn't really dictate what we're looking for now. So we have the rec center here. Where is my cursor? We have the rec center here, and as you're walking in, you have these entrances within the park that leads you into the picnic area, but also enclosed by vegetation, where you will kind of meet the playground area, whether that would be traditional or exploration, for nature play. And if you want to go north, and then you'll see the open space that everyone wanted. So that space will be dedicated to yoga or group fitness, maybe outdoor programming. Maybe there's something that can't be done in a rec center that they want to, bring outside. So that is something that can be accommodated. And then we have the multi-sports court. A lot of people wanted various sports activities, not just basketball, maybe volleyball, maybe futsal, maybe soccer. So it was my job to kind of to meet that need and see what they actually will want. And as you go around the park even more, you have another area for picnic. So barbecue grills and a picnic shelter for shading. And then you have the fitness and also challenge course, which we discussed as well. And then of course, you have all these different entry points leading into the actual neighborhood or going to the rec center. And as you can see to the right, there are additional comments from this concept number 2 that I needed to address. So bigger basketball court, add food trucks, add charging stations, a longer walking path, an area for outdoor movie nights, add a mural art, incorporate traffic calming to the center, to the park, and to the rec center, and mixed results of the dog part, which was kind of a low priority. So this is also from our community meeting number 2, which we kind of developed a draft of the floor plan. I wouldn't say me, but the consultant team, but working with them. So as you can see, there's these various rooms within the rec center, which we got feedback from the community. So some of those comments were more storage needed, add a stage for performance, provide a kitchen for classes, multi-purpose rooms, of course, a dance studio, change of arts and crafts room. Want to stick to STEM and general classes as well, a reading room, a library, and of course, just anything where we can dedicate this rec center to the community where it best fits. I think I'm frozen. Oh, there we go. So now I'm going to talk about kind of like the final plan. So now I'm going to talk about the rec center, and the awarded design team for that was Ply Plus. So they're the team that's responsible for the recreation portion of this this presentation. So here's the existing condition. So this is what the building currently looks like now. As you can see, what the streetscape also looks like, you have some trees sitting out front. I believe those will actually, of course, be removed, and we're going to be putting new right-of-way pavement and sidewalks and some tree grates as well. In regards to the building, you can see that it's brick, and you'll see maybe that there is skylights as well, but it's majority of brick building, and you can see the color scheme as well. And I can get more into that in the next slide. So this is what Ply Plus is proposing. And as you can see, we're still keeping that brick exterior. Of course, we're changing the color, but there is still that blue hue that you can see, and that's something that we got from the community. We provided them with color choices, but this is one that they actually chose. And you can also see that we have some art on the rec center as well. You can see it in the front with the faucets, and also like this glass entry. This will primarily be the main entrance, but there's another entrance that kind of leads to the plaza that we are shooting for, but also the park as well. And I know in the comments where we said, where the community wanted movie nights, there's a little small projection, which is pretty cool. So that's on this side of the building facing the park and also the plaza. And And here's a floor plan. I won't go into great detail. What I can say is one thing that is kind of that stayed existing and couldn't really change was the gymnasium. Just as far as like the floor plan and what they were working with, I know that the ceiling height wasn't it can't be modified right now. It's so short of the ceiling, and they can't make it any taller. But the gym is what's staying, and most of the rooms have changed. I think the only thing that stayed the same was the gymnasium, the fitness room slash weight room, and of course the restrooms. Everything else was like repurposed to accommodate what the community wanted to see and have. So now I'm going to talk about the park, which is, I believe, the most exciting part. So here are some existing conditions. Like I said before, this site is just majority asphalt, hardscape. As you can see, there are some deteriorated basketball rims, a lot of fencing, a lot of lights as well. Um, just needs some loving. Everything is deteriorating in this site. So, of course, I already showed you concept number two. Like I said, they chose this just based off the open space that they wanted, the multi-sport court, the playground, the picnic area, and the fitness that they want. So take a look at this. I'm just going to keep this up for a couple of seconds. And then the next slide should actually be the final park design. And of course, that will be modified with some slight revisions based off our last community meeting. So here is the final design for Dexter and Elmhurst Park. I'm just trying to move this the Zoom link so I can see everything. Sorry. So as I said before, the rec center is to the right here, and as you can see, I put a little shaded red circle to notify the entry is here as well. So just imagine yourself coming from the rec center. You're in the plaza. This is just a placeholder for now, but I can show you the concept that they chose later. So you're walking into the park with these main entries. You see the playground pieces here. And then you walk around, there's an event lawn, which is a good open space for events, like I said, yoga or program classes. You have the fitness equipment area, and that's adjacent to the multi-sport court here. And the multi-sport court is actually going to be basketball, futsal, and then also volleyball as well. And then making your way around the park as well, you'll see that there's a picnic shelter, which you'll have the picnic tables, and then your site amenities with the barbecue grill. It's another entrance, and then you hit this really nice space, which is also going to be a picnic area with some heavy tree canopy. This will be crushed limestone with some picnic tables as well. So it's kind of giving you that plaza feel as well. Um, and then you're working your way back into the park in general, but also if you're visiting the park, you can enjoy the plaza as well, but also the recreation center. And then these next couple of slides, I'm going to get into each activity and program elements within the park and what you will actually envision as you're in the park. So here we have the playground. This is a climbing structure. This is pretty unique to me. The community definitely wanted something that kind of reflects not only the present, but also, back in the day, I know that there was a lot of unique structures as far as like playgrounds. So I think this kind of speaks volumes as well. It also ties in with the color scheme of the rec center, which is blue. Here's a playground piece which is also accessible to all users. I like this piece a lot. I actually went to a park, I believe it was MLK Park in Ferndale. It was a lot of people using this equipment. So I really enjoyed just seeing a lot of users and kids using this playground piece. So I hope to see that same reflection in this community as well. And I also have a key map to locate where these president images are going to be located in the park. Here's the swing set. So as I said before, you have a key map here where that swing set will be located. This the multi-sport that I was talking about. So as you can see, they're playing futsal now, but you can also see that there are basketball rims, and this is a enclosed piece here, which I think is unique, where all users can play within this enclosed space here. Fitness equipment. So this is pretty much our standard as far as like fitness equipment. Um, as far as like the color scheme, usually the city colors are black and silver. So don't mind this green and like a tan yellow, I believe it is. But these are the actual pieces that I'm going to be using. As you can see, pull-up bars, there's like this bench press, chest press, and as you can see to the left top corner, I wanted to provide an area for people to stretch, and I also want to encourage people to stretch, whether that's before the workout or after the workout. And that's something I want to kind of do this citywide. This picture is actually took at Riverside Park, so I think that was kind of unique that our fellow LA landscape architect provided somewhere for people to stretch before or after they work out. Here's a picnic shelter. So for this particular project and park, I wanted to provide a picnic shelter that wasn't too big, but also provided shade, being that the space is not like our other parks. More so our other parks are larger. So I wanted to kind of dial down and scale to utilize the space more. And of course, the site amenities and barbecue grills and cold bins. And here is that crushed limestone area. So to the left, you will see a president image that kind of reflects what I'm envisioning for that space. And this is actually a city park as well. That is Gordon Park, which is also kind of gives you that plaza feeling, but it also has the shade as well as the picnic. And now I'm going to show you the concept for the tuxedo closure plaza. This is an existing condition of what that looks like today. And I will say in the in our last meeting, I presented about 3 concept plans for the plaza. So the concept that you will be seeing is what they chose. So if you look to the right, I kind of like highlighted what the plaza concept would look like, and then had the park design implemented as well. So you can see what the actual park and plaza will look like and how it will function with the rec center as well. So I know I talked about all the comments that we heard earlier about the food trucks and seating and shade and art. So this is what I wanted to reflect in the plaza. So as you can see, I kind of created a space for the food truck. I kind of extended the open space because I know a lot of people wanted, more space for yoga or just to stretch or, throw a frisbee. So I kind of extended that as well. And adjacent to that is seating, whether you're, getting food from the food truck and you want to sit down or, you have your own food. I provided a space for that. But I also wanted to accommodate enough space because I know that the rec center is going to be utilizing parking on the backside of the rec center. So if you want to park there and make your way into the plaza, there's a gracious enough space for you to visit the plaza, but also go into the rec center or the park. Also accommodated a staging area, but also a space for them to program. And I have a seating here, which can be temporary. So you can program and have movie nights as well, maybe have a projection on the wall where the stage stand as well. Have some tree grates to provide shading as well. And I definitely wanted to use some soft landscaping. So, put plantings and shrubs. And then we're working with our art team to kind of develop an art installation for this piece as well. And I'm gonna be honest, the last couple of weeks, we've been on the fence in regards to like ordinance and everything and the BC requirements. So I'm really not sure if the plaza will actually be a plaza. It might actually be turning into parking, but we'll see. This is like ongoing. So right now it's just a concept. So this is the concept that they chose. And then the next couple of slides, I'm going to just show details of the elements that I would like to see in the plaza. So here I just gather a couple of president images of what I think and a vision for the plaza space. So like I said, adding landscaping and some art within the plaza as well with some different colors. And I forgot to mention early in the presentation, what's so cool about the Dexter area with the framework plan as well. What I realized, there's a lot of culture within the neighborhood in regards to like art. I remember they have a lot of like dance halls and movie halls and theaters. So I just want to kind of like bring that fun feeling back in the space, but also the community. So that's why I'm choosing like these really cool elements and site furniture pieces. So here we have a final master plan, but I really want to say a final draft master plan because as you can see, I have this boundary here where it's currently in the works. So that is going to be made for parking and lot activations. Like I said before, we're taking some of these vacant lots and activating them with meadows and habitats, paths, making that connection for the whole site, for the park, the plaza, but also parking as well. And as you can see, how the park and the rec center will kind of come together and stick together. So I really like how this is coming along as a cohesive space for the environment. So I'm definitely looking forward to construction, but also making a few tweaks so we can, um, get the wants and needs and the go ahead and approval from the community. So I think that, oh, and of course, there are more goals from our final community meeting. So ensure that the basketball court is a full size, create a space to accommodate food trucks, create a space for outdoor movie night, incorporate art and installation, incorporate traffic calming, getting to the park and the rec center. And I think that helps out with us closing down the tuxedo and making it a plaza. A longer walking path and walking loop. That is something that I kind of struggle with for this particular project, just because, like I said, the parcel for the park is not that big. It's really it's like half an acre. So I think we're going to accommodate that with the vacant lots that we have, creating a path with the meadows and kind of um, tying that into the park as well. And then the last piece is adding charging stations. And I know I spoke about the park I did not too far from here, Zussman Park, which the community also asked for charging stations. So that's something that I did there. And I'm glad to do this for this park as well. So that concludes my presentation. I also have the city team, Debbie McNack, which is with the facility team. She is the project manager for the recreation portion. Juliana Fulton, who's the planner that helped us all with this. This wouldn't happen without her planning abilities. And then myself with the design. And I do want to state that want to go back into the beginning. So when I talk about the plaza and the vacant lots, that is actually going to be design build. So labels C, yeah, just label C is actually going to be design build. So we're actually going to be finding a contract to do design build for that. So hopefully we can get a good team for that so everything is cohesive. I know that there is a lot going on as far as like these different involvements and departments. Because like I said, we have the streetscape, which actually should be starting this time this year in September, I believe. And then we have the park, the recreation, and then we're going to have another contractor for the design build. So yeah, that concludes my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed. I will be answering questions. So I'm going to pass it back to Nick.
Well, I love your design. There's a lot of unique elements that you have, including the play structures. I really like how your park reflects the building and they both do the same with the colors and just the elements in there. One question I have for you is, how does this project fit within your goals and passion for landscape architecture?
Man, it's really all about the community. I think that's what brings me like more joy. That like just designing. Like I have a passion for design, but knowing that I can like meet the needs and wants of the community in the way that they can enjoy, that means a lot to me. But also just having something designed for long term, that's also something that I'm passionate about. Because of course, these parks are going to be here forever, like long before I'm gone, and just seeing like the community take care of the park, but also going down to like family reunions, parties, programming, like it just all comes together as one. So just seeing the community utilize the space is just something that I can't even describe.
Going along with the community. So I know you've been holding a lot of meetings with them, getting their opinion on the park. How do you believe this project will impact the community?
Oh man, it will impact them a lot. Speaking of that, I know I talked about the neighborhood plan. So in this area, there are a lot of vacant lots, as I spoke to earlier, but also the recreation center has been not in use in a long time. But also Dexter Avenue is a street where there's a lot of opportunities for development and retail. So right now it looks deteriorated, but the impact that I see with this project, I feel as though it's going to cause a ripple effect. So hopefully there's a lot of opportunities for more spaces to be used, vacant lots, more people buying houses in this area, more opportunities for retail, um, restaurants, housing. So I definitely see it unfolding into a beautiful thing. I know we've seen it happen before in the city of Detroit, so I'm hoping that it happens here as well.
Thank you. And then lastly, from me, what led you to choose a career in landscape architecture?
Great question. I know I spoke to you earlier about this. Just want to get a little bit deeper into this. So as a little kid, I always liked design. I drew as a little kid. I actually feel as though I picked this up from my uncle, who he just used to just draw. So I kind of like picked up that hobby. So I just used to draw all the time. I like being outdoors. I just like the element of the design. So as a young kid, I used to just question myself about things like, why is this that way? So I kind of like got that critical thinking going early. But as far as like landscape architecture, I actually wanted to go into architecture with buildings. So I applied to a couple universities. I got accepted, but Michigan State kind of stood out to me the most, being that it was hometown. I really couldn't see myself going out of state or anything. But once I got into that program, not knowing really what landscape architecture was, I just kind of knew it was outside stuff. But really the program kind of unfolded what that really truly means. And ever since then, I kind of like just stuck with it. So landscape architecture, I definitely feel as though it was meant to be.
All right, thank you. I'd like to open the floor if anyone else has any questions.
Yes. Feel free to ask me about anything, not just the park. I'll see if I can have the answer for you.
All right, I do have one more question for you. So you said you have a
Absolutely.
passion for drawing. Obviously this is a Photoshop master plan, but I'm
Mhm.
guessing most of your concepts, most of your master plan layouts are used. You're using a lot of drafting paper,
That's
chart pack markers, things like that.
That's a great question. I'm to be honest, I'm like 5 years into like the real professional world, and I'm still like struggling, trying to find that balance. More so, it is a lot more digital than I would like, just because of the fast pace of things. But in regards to like the plaza, that is the concept that I actually did drafting on hand on trace paper. So I think you can actually see it. Let me see if I can go back. So yeah, so as you can see, like this one was pretty much by hand. I kind of like sketched it out just a tad bit, and threw some color on there, in Photoshop. But most of the time it is kind of like doing my concepts in Illustrator or doing my concepts in Photoshop. It just seems more easy for me and my workflow. But everyone has their, a different approach to things. But for me personally, I feel as though the concepts come more easily using these programs rather than sketching it out.
All right, that's awesome. Once again, is there any questions? All right. I want to thank everyone for joining the webinar and those who see this on YouTube maybe later on through the Michigan ASLA YouTube channel. Rayshaun, I'd like to thank you for your time and for this
Absolutely.
um, amazing presentation.
I
So,
appreciate you for having me.
oh, of course. Looks like we do.
I have a question.
Oh, great job, Rayshaun. Sweet.
Oh, thank you.
There's someone in the chat said that.
Oh, thanks, Keenan. Well,
All
yeah, Nick,
right.
thank you again for having me on this. I really enjoyed presenting projects like this, especially from the city. So yeah, I'm pretty sure if you have any more webinars, hopefully we can get some of my other team members to present some of their projects as well.
That'd be great. All right. Thank you, Rayshaun. I hope everyone
Thank
has a
you.
good night.
You too.